Hi, this is Amy Smythe Harris. So today I want to talk about selling virtually. I co-own 6 virtual offices in Texas. A lot of times so no brick and mortar. A lot of times I never get to meet my clients in person or see the house in person, and I do the deals all behind the scenes. So I have done deals just like you guys have done. I've done them on the top of ski slopes. I've done them in airplanes and airports. I've done them sitting on the beach. So no different than what you're doing, just maybe a little bit of a different twist on it. So um, one of the things that's a big thing for me on this is a lot of your clients don't want to come and meet you at the office anymore. That's just not how the consumer thinks anymore. So I a lot of times meet my clients at Starbucks when I meet them for the first time. They are already comfortable with that environment. It makes sense, so we go with that one. Some tools you need to be virtual. So again, it's up to you what you do. I have a MacBook, a MacBook Pro 13-inch, brand new one. My old MacBook just finally bit the dust. I have an iPhone and iPad, but it doesn't matter as long as you have some kind of mobile device that allows you to do the things that you want to do, as well as a MiFi or a personal hotspot. So I have a personal hotspot on my phone and my iPad, but I also have a MiFi. So my carrier for my phone and iPad is AT&T. My MiFi is done through Verizon. And the reason why I did that, there's some areas that when I do actually go show, that AT&T is a total dead spot where I live. And so that way, by having the Verizon MiFi, which is just a portable little Wi-Fi connection box, is I can always get on the internet to help with my clients. Chargers, I have multiple chargers, battery packs, as well as what's called an octopus charger that has one USB in one end and then multiple outlets on the other. So it could go into different Droid devices, different micro USBs. It can go into Lightning connector on iPhones or the old connectors on iPads, that kind of thing. Also, no office. So I don't demand that they come to an office. Don't demand they meet me. I find out their kind of comfort zone and we go from there. But I do ask them at the very beginning when they start working with me, number one, what device do you have? I need to know kind of if they are an iPhone or Droid so I can communicate with them effectively. Are you okay with never potentially ever meeting me in person? Are you okay with a showing agent showing you? Are you okay with digital signatures? And how would you like me to share files with you? Um, I use do you want me to email them as attachments, or I use Dropbox and I share those folders with them? So those are all things I kind of get out of the way at the very beginning to kind of weed out for me how I can engage and interact with them. So some other things for you guys is your cloud office. You need to figure out how you're going to do your office file storage, and it's totally up to you. It doesn't matter to me. So I use Carbonite. Carbonite backs up my whole C drive. So I call it my attic. So all the crud on my computer, all my old files that I never moved into Dropbox are all in Carbonite in the attic or the banker's box, which I would put old files in back in the day. So Carbonite backs up my whole computer. There's a couple of other ones out there called Mozy. Iron Mountain's another one. I just stuck with Carbonite because I've been happy with them and their price, and they also back up my devices as well. And then Dropbox or Google Drive is what I call my filing cabinet. So like your active files are normally here, or active listings, those type of things. They go in Dropbox. In Google Drive is kind of the best way for me to differentiate them when you're kind of new to using a cloud-based storage. For me, now, my documents folder is all in Dropbox. So I pay for that storage. That's the good thing about Google Drive is you don't have to pay for that storage. And the other one I use is to replace my spiral notebook that I had for years is Evernote. So my spiral notebook, my post-it notes all go into Evernote. Make sure you attend one of the RETI Evernote sessions because there's a lot of breakout about how to use Evernote and how I use it. So some software apps that are essential for me in doing virtual is, again, your cloud storage. Pick one that you want. It doesn't matter to me. You may be a Google person and that's where you want to go with. You may be a Dropbox person and that's what you're comfortable with. I stuck with Dropbox only because I found most of my clients, when I was sharing folders, were already using Dropbox with their work. And at that time, a lot of them did not, their companies had firewalls against any Google products. I don't know if that's the case anymore, but I deal with a lot of oil and gas engineers. So I just kept staying with Dropbox for that. So again, use what's comfortable with you for you. Research them. Some of you are like, "What you talking about?" I have no clue what you're talking about, Amy. Go and research them and find the pros and cons that are comfortable for you, or come onto the RETI site and we have there's classes about Dropbox. There's classes about Google Drive to make sure you're comfortable with whatever choice you make. I would highly encourage you picking one cloud storage and staying with it and not going bouncing back and forth, because then you're not sure where your files are at. It's no different than if you keep files in a briefcase in your car and you had files at the office and files at home. You didn't know where they were. Same concept. Make sure that you always know where your files are, whether it's in Dropbox or Google Drive. So make sure that here's some tips that when you start using these cloud-based storage is know how to create folders, know how to share folders with your clients. So I create a folder for my client, and then I create a subfolder for my client, and I share that subfolder with them. So in there goes copies of stuff just that they need, not they don't need access to my whole folder. They just need stuff that they need to have, like a title commitment, a copy of a survey, copy of the listing agreement, copy of the contract, that kind of stuff. And if they don't want me to share a folder with them, that's fine. I'll email it to them as attachment. But I found probably about 90% of my clients prefer that I create a shared Dropbox. And then again, know how to save to folders via either your iPad, iPhone, your laptop, your Droid, whatever it may be. And then Evernote. So Evernote, we have quite a few classes on that, on what to do with Evernote, like how to create notebooks, how to take notes, what notes should you take when working with a client, how to organize your notebooks, and kind of if you want to organize them in stacks or just a very basic organization. What notes to take for sellers, what notes to take for buyers. Again, this is all in our RETI sessions on mini sessions on Evernote. And then how to email to Notebook, which is a fabulous tool. I talk heavily about that in the Evernote section in RETI. So make sure you get to that. And then also audio notes and pictures and attachments, because now you can do an attachment PDF and you can also annotate on it as well. So those may be good tools for you guys. So again, make sure you check out that section for you. I couldn't sell virtually if I didn't have those, what I call the foundational tools for me, as well as this. PDF editing on your tablet, whether it's a iPad or a Droid tablet, is iAnnotate is very popular, and the other one is PDF Expert. So let's say in Texas, we have option money receipts, which is basically your inspection time frame, and there's money that's exchanged to the seller. So on page 9 of the contract, once we get that money to give to the seller, we have to receipt it on page 9 of our contract. So all I do is go into Dropbox, I open up that executed contract, I go to page 9 in the iAnnotate or PDF Expert, and then I type in there the check number, the check amount, and then I sign digitally on the screen and iAnnotate or PDF Expert, and then I can send only page 9 to the other agent so that they can see that I've receipted it. So there's a lot of different tools on using that. Biggest thing is having foot soldiers out there for yourself. So I don't have buyer's agents. I have showing agents that I've trained on how to show for me. I pay them an hourly fee. They go and show for me. And I make the appointments. I send them the listing information to go show. I connect the buyer and the showing agent together via email, so they know where to meet for the first house, And then I let the buyer know if there's any problems, that they can text me, or the showing agent can text me with any questions, or call me if we're not doing a live stream broadcast. So here we go, video calls. So when you're selling virtually, you've got to be able to be accessible, you know, not in person, obviously. So FaceTime is great if you are definitely working with an iPhone user. I use Google Hangouts a lot with clients because it's video chatting, so everybody can see each other. This is great when you have sellers or buyers in different cities and you need to talk with them at once. So I use Google Hangouts quite a bit. I use Skype, not as much as I used to. I still use it with my military clients, but the Skype business is very good with the video chatting. I also use WhatsApp to group text my international clients or send pictures via that. And also, if I need to live stream video to them and we want to record it for later or something, but I want to be on the phone with one client right then and the other client needs to see it later, I can do Ustream Live Broadcaster. It's Ustream Live Broadcaster or Quick. Google Hangouts, which is good about Google Hangout, is I can actually record it while I'm talking to them and then save it up to YouTube for you. So learn those tools. Some other apps for your team. Fiverr.com is you basically pay anywhere from $5 and up to subcontract work out for them. So maybe you need to redo a listing presentation, like your marketing proposal, and you're not even sure where to start, go to Fiverr. We had somebody we paid Fiverr to do voiceovers for us for our better voicemail system since we're a virtual office. The next one is iJot or BombBomb. If you'll notice, iJot got auto-corrected, so I apologize. It's EYEJOT or BombBomb. They're video messaging services. So BombBomb is more of like if you're wanting templated emails to go out to client, like a drip video email campaign, BombBomb is more for what you need. I use iJot for like little simple messages to clients. Hey, your homestead exemption's coming in the mail. This is what it looks like. Don't forget to fill it out. Hey, this is the next step in the process. I need you to do this, this, and this. Because so many clients won't read an email, but they'll listen to a quick video on that. And then again, video calling we already touched on. So other apps for your team. When I say team, you have to have a team in place, whether it's a showing agent, buyer's agent, maybe you have a transaction coordinator, whatever it may be. Or my version of a team is a little different, and I call my affiliates my team, if you will, because if my affiliates, my lenders, my title company, those people don't work the way I want them to work, then they do get nixed. And so just and they get moved on to somebody else. So issue.com is a place that I put my marketing proposal, my pre-listing packet on, my buyer packet on there, and it creates basically a virtual magazine. So I just can copy and paste that link over to them, and it sits in Evernote. So as soon as I get a lead, whether it's a seller or buyer, I can send it over. The next one is find a good CRM, and that's contacts relationship management or a database. For some of us, know it that way. It doesn't matter what one you use as long as you use it. So please make sure you find one that you're comfortable with. The biggest takeaway I have for finding a CRM is find out what you need the CRM to do, and then that will help you guide you to what CRM you want. So some popular ones that are out there is Contactually, Follow Up Boss, Realty Juggler, Wise Agent, Insightly, and of course, Top Producer. And the next thing is digital signatures. I do all of my deals digital signatures. I use DocuSign because I've been with them for years, and it's a comfort zone for my clients. They are comfortable with it. I know how to use it and to me, digital signatures, and most agents across the country feel this way, this is no longer an added bonus, is that this equates that if you have access to MLS and search MLS, you should be able to do digital signatures because the clients they expect this. This is not something that is an added benefit that you're giving them. They expect this nowadays. So find one that you are comfortable with to use out there. With that being said, I still, unfortunately, have my clients have to do real signatures, or what we call wet signatures, at closing. So we can't do digital signatures, much to their dismay. But I try to give them what I call the Uber level of service. So I have mobile notaries go to them and sign them wherever they may be. So I've had clients sign in campgrounds in Utah. I've had them sign, in very unusual places. I had one sign in a restaurant on the in New Orleans, Bourbon Street. Sorry, I was thinking, what was the name? She was on that restaurant. So it's all, I really, really prefer this, and it's ease of convenience for my clients. There's a fee normally associated with it. If my client does not want to absorb it, I absorb it as part of my doing business. It makes it easier. I don't have to go to closing. I prefer not to go to closing if I don't need to. If it's for a seller, they don't have much to sign. They're ready. They're a lot of times not even in the state. And for buyers, depending on the level of buyer, yes, I will attend closing, but not for all of them. They don't necessarily need me there. But if they need me there and I can't physically be there, then I Skype in or FaceTime into them. And so some client apps I have my clients download is JotNot Pro, which is a scanning program to scan a piece of paper to a PDF, and you can either fax from it or email. I use JotNot Pro, but there's tons of out there. One is TurboScan, one is Cam Scanner. The other one is Genius Scan. Again, there's tons out there. Find what you're comfortable with. I've just started asking clients, do you have a scanning program on your phone? Because they may already have one. And so I show them how to use it for maybe getting documents to me that are not something that I would send digital signatures, like receipts for repairs for a seller, those type of things. DocuSign, I tell them to download that. It's free for them on their side. Not that they need it to do business with me, but I found that there's a lot of forms that they need to sign, and they don't have a printer at home anymore. They don't have a way to fax it, like medical release forms, school transfer forms, those type of things, and they can use DocuSign. Those top two are the ones that I get most of my clients saying, I have used after the transaction is over, Amy. That's the best advice you've given me. House and Pinterest, I help them with staging ideas, so I don't waste my time going over doing staging, and then they go list with another agent. I also have a staging video that I found on YouTube that's a link, and so it's saved in Evernote, and then I just send that to them. But Pinterest, I create secret pins for my new construction clients. Tell them before you go to the design center, look on here, kind of get an idea of what you like. And then if it's a design consultant at the new home sales center that I know, I'll share that pin with them, and we created it as a secret pin. I also started doing it to help my sellers stage homes, so it's a really great tool for that. And then ask them what app that they're using to search for homes mobily, whether it's Realtor.com, Trulia, or Zillow. Maybe it's a local one, so that way I can kind of talk with them about the app, give them pointers and different things that, maybe they didn't know about the app. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, you can hit me up at amy@amysmytheharris.com, and I hope that helps you guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for attending the webinar.